Hey there, future IELTS champion. So, you're getting ready to take on the IELTS exam.
That's right.
Whether it's for getting into a university or landing that dream job, or even moving to a new country.
Big goals.
A great IELTS score is going to help you get there.
For sure.
And we're here to help you make that happen.
Absolutely.
We're going to give you the tools and the knowledge to navigate every single section of that exam.
That's right. We'll be your guides.
With confidence.
Yeah. Think of this deep dive as a roadmap.
Okay, I like that.
We're going to be breaking down each section one by one.
Okay.
And we're going to highlight the specific challenges that you might face.
Gotcha.
And offer actionable advice.
Love it.
Drawn from expert sources.
Nice.
And we're going to make sure to sprinkle in some fun along the way, because who says test prep has to be boring?
Absolutely not. So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Let's kick things off with the first hurdle on the IELTS.
Okay.
The listening section.
All right.
You might be thinking, listening.
Yeah.
Easy.
Uh,
But our research shows
Yeah.
it's actually a lot trickier than people think.
right.
So imagine trying to understand someone with a super thick Scottish accent
Oh my goodness.
talking about astrophysics, and you only get one chance to catch what they're saying.
Oh, that's rough.
That's kind of what the listening section is like.
Yeah. That's where the real challenge lies. You'll be encountering a range of accents.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
British, Australian, American,
It's a whole mix.
across a variety of contexts,
Mhm.
from casual conversations to formal lectures.
Right.
And remember, you only get to hear each recording once.
One shot.
So how do you become an IELTS listening ninja?
That is the question, right? Well, our sources suggest a technique called shadowing.
Shadowing.
It's basically where you become an echo.
Uh-huh.
You listen to podcasts like the British Council podcast or BBC Learning English and repeat what the speaker is saying,
Okay.
matching their intonation, matching their pace.
Gotcha.
It's like a workout for your ears.
Exactly. It's about actively engaging with the audio, not just passively letting it wash over you.
Right.
That's not all. Here's a little exam strategy, Jim.
Okay. Alrighty.
Before the audio even starts, take a moment to underline the keywords in the questions.
Okay.
This is going to help you laser focus your attention on what you need to listen for.
Yeah.
For instance, if a question asks about a specific date,
Okay.
you'll be primed to zero in on any dates mentioned in the recording.
Gotcha. So you're already kind of like
Exactly.
primed for what you need to be listening for.
You got it.
Awesome. All right. But let's talk about these little sneaky distractors that our sources warned us about.
Oh, yeah.
You know those moments in the recording where they give you a bunch of different options before they reveal the correct answer?
Oh, the IELTS loves to test your attention to detail.
They're tricky like that.
Let's say you're listening to a conversation about travel plans,
Okay.
and the speaker mentions they're thinking about going to Spain, Italy, or Greece
All right.
in June, July, or August.
Okay. I'm following.
But then they throw in a curveball
Oh, no.
and decide on Portugal in September.
Sneaky.
If you're not careful, you might get caught up in those earlier options and miss that final decision.
Totally. So it's all about like really staying focused,
Absolutely.
not getting tricked.
That's why practicing with mock tests under timed conditions is so important.
Yeah,
This will help you get used to the pace and the pressure of the exam.
exactly.
Now let's move on to the reading section,
Okay.
which is more like an intellectual marathon.
Okay.
Imagine this. You're handed 3 long articles,
Okay.
maybe one about the history of cheesemaking,
All right.
another on the ecological impact of fashion,
Interesting.
and the third one about the latest advancements in AI.
Okay. Keep me on my toes.
And you have just 60 minutes to answer 40 questions based on these articles.
Oh, wow. Okay. My head's already spinning just thinking about it.
Right.
I would just want to start reading frantically from beginning to end.
Yeah, and that's a common mistake. A lot of test takers fall into that trap of trying to read every single word, which can really eat up your time.
Right.
Instead, our sources recommend mastering what's called skim and scan.
Skim and scan.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Imagine you're a detective
Oh.
looking for clues.
Right.
You don't carefully examine every single object in a room.
Right.
You quickly scan for anything that stands out.
Yeah.
It's the same with the reading section.
Gotcha.
So you first skim each paragraph just to get a sense of the main idea.
Yeah.
What is the section about?
Mm-hmm.
Then, when you come across a question,
Yeah.
you can use keywords to quickly scan that passage
Okay.
and find the relevant information.
Gotcha. So if a question asks about, let's say, the environmental impact of cotton production,
Yes.
I would scan the passage for those keywords: cotton production, environmental impact,
Exactly.
instead of getting lost in the details about silk or wool or whatever else is in there.
You got it. It's about being strategic, not passive. Now, another crucial aspect of conquering the reading section is building a strong vocabulary.
Okay.
The IELTS often uses synonyms and paraphrasing, so
Wow.
the more words you know,
Yeah.
the better you'll be at understanding those tricky passages.
So reading a lot of different things
Yes.
is really helpful.
Absolutely. The more diverse your reading material, the more prepared you'll be.
So like books, articles.
I think you can get your hands on.
Awesome. And don't forget about those free online resources and
Right.
apps that are out there
Absolutely.
that can help you practice.
Especially ones that simulate the exam conditions.
Yes.
This can be a game changer.
For real, for real.
Yeah.
And speaking of practice, our sources also talked about how important active reading is.
Oh, yeah. Active reading is key.
It's not just about passively reading.
Right.
It's about really engaging with the text.
Yeah. It's like you're creating a mental map of the passage as you go,
I like that.
noting down those key ideas and how they connect.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Ew.
Okay, so we've talked about listening and reading.
The first two hurdles.
Now brace yourselves,
Off we go.
because it's time to face what many consider the most daunting part of the IELTS.
Oh, yes.
The writing section.
The section that makes even the most confident English speakers a little nervous.
For sure. It's a double whammy.
That is.
2 tasks that are designed to test different writing skills.
That's right.
But have no fear, we're going to break it down.
We got you.
Give you the tools to tackle it head on.
Absolutely.
First up, task 1.
Right.
This is where you're going to play data detective.
Ooh, I like that.
Imagine you're given a chart, a table, or a diagram
Okay.
showing maybe global coffee consumption trends
Right.
or the evolution of smartphone usage
Interesting.
over the last decade. Your mission is to describe that data
Gotcha.
clearly and concisely,
Okay.
using precise language and a structured approach.
So it's not just about spitting out numbers.
Right. It's about creating a story from the data. So, for example, you might say something like, overall coffee consumption has increased globally with a significant surge in Asian countries, especially in the last 5 years.
Perfect. You hit that sweet spot.
Nice.
You provided a clear overview of the trend.
Yes.
But you also delved into some specifics.
Right.
And you supported it with data points.
And our sources really stress the importance of structure,
Yes. Structure is key.
starting with that big picture overview
Right.
and then giving those specific details.
Absolutely. And remember, no editorializing in task 1.
Oh, that's right.
This is about objectively describing what you see in the data.
Just the facts.
No opinions or interpretations.
Got it. Okay, so stay neutral.
Exact.
Stick to the facts.
You got it.
All right, let's move on to task 2,
All right, bring it on.
essay time.
Yes. Time to flex those intellectual muscles.
You're ready? You'll be given an opinion or an argument
Okay.
and asked to write a well-reasoned essay,
All right.
at least 250 words.
Okay.
It could be something like, should governments prioritize funding for arts and culture or focus solely on essential services like healthcare and education?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. So it's not just about showing off your fancy vocabulary
No.
and grammar.
It's about showing you can think critically,
Hmm.
develop a clear argument,
Yeah.
and back it up with examples.
And our sources say planning is super important.
Absolutely. Before you even start writing,
Yeah.
take like 5 minutes to brainstorm your main points
Yeah.
and the arguments that support them.
So if I was doing the arts funding one,
Mm-hmm.
I might jot down 2 arguments for each side,
Okay, I like it.
like the value of art and culture for society versus the need for good healthcare and education.
Exactly.
That way I'd have a roadmap for my writing.
I got it.
Hmm.
That's going to help make sure your essay has a logical flow
Right.
and doesn't go off on tangents.
Yeah. And don't forget about those linking words and phrases.
Oh, yes. Those are so important.
Like, furthermore, in conclusion.
They're like the glue that holds your argument together,
Right.
making it seamless and persuasive.
So it's about creating a good story, just like in task 1.
Yeah.
But this time, it's a story of your ideas and arguments.
Well said. And remember, practice makes perfect.
Right.
Our sources recommend writing something every day.
Even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, even short bursts like journaling
Okay.
or summarizing articles you've read
Gotcha.
that can really improve your writing skills over time.
And don't be afraid to get feedback from a tutor or use tools like Grammarly.
Yes. Those are great resources.
Polish your writing.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So we've conquered the written word.
We did it.
Now let's get ready for the ultimate test of real-time communication.
Okay, here we go.
The speaking section.
This is where you get to show off your spoken English skills
Yes.
in a face-to-face interview with an examiner.
Right. Could be a little nerve-wracking.
I get it, but remember,
Yeah.
they're not there to scare you. They're there to assess your ability to communicate in English.
In a friendly way.
Think of it as a conversation.
Not an interrogation.
Exactly. The examiners are trained to put you at ease,
Okay, that's good to know.
and they want you to do well.
So just take a deep breath.
Relax.
Let your personality shine through.
That's the spirit. Our sources talk about how important it is to stay calm and focused during the speaking section.
Yeah.
If your mind goes blank,
Which happens.
or you stumble over a word, don't panic.
Easy to say, hard to do.
It happens to everyone. The key is to just stay calm and
Yeah.
keep a positive attitude.
Right.
If you need a second to collect your thoughts,
Yeah.
you can always say something like, "Let me think for a moment,"
Yeah.
or "That's a great question. Let me consider that."
Totally. And it's totally okay to ask the examiner to repeat the question
Of course.
if you didn't quite understand it.
Absolutely. It shows that you're engaged
Right.
and that you want to understand what's being asked.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go over those key takeaways for each section of the IELTS one more time,
Good idea.
just to make sure they really stick.
Let's do it.
Starting with the listening section.
All right.
We learned about shadowing.
Yes. That active listening technique.
It's like you're becoming a vocal detective,
I love that analogy.
tracing the contours of spoken English.
Right.
Mimicking that intonation and pronunciation.
To sharpen those listening skills.
Exactly. And don't forget about underlining those keywords in the questions,
Yes. Before the audio starts.
like priming your brain to focus.
You got it. Filtering out all those distractions.
For the reading section, we talked about skim and scan.
Like an explorer navigating a dense jungle of text.
That's a good one.
Using those keywords as your compass.
Right. To find those hidden answers.
Exactly.
And we talked about how important it is to have a big vocabulary.
It's essential.
Not just from memorizing lists,
Right.
but from reading a variety of things and discovering new words along the way.
Like a literary gourmand.
Okay, I like that one too. In the writing section,
Yes.
we tackled the two tasks.
The double whammy.
Task 1 and Task 2.
That's right.
Learning how to turn data into stories.
Yes. Weaving together facts and figures.
With precision and clarity.
Absolutely.
And for Task 2, we honed our argumentation skills.
Yes. Building persuasive essays.
With clear structures, evidence, and those linking words.
To create that smooth flow of ideas.
And last but not least, the speaking section,
The grand finale.
where we learned that practicing consistently is key.
It really is.
Turning everyday life into an English-speaking adventure.
Absolutely. From casual conversations to online language exchanges.
Exactly. We learned how to handle those pre-exam jitters.
Mm-hmm.
Stay calm during the interview.
Right.
And see the examiner as a friendly guide.
Not a scary judge.
Exactly. But remember,
Yeah.
getting a great IELTS score isn't just about checking boxes or memorizing formulas.
No, it's so much more than that.
It's about really embracing the power of language learning,
It's about opening doors to new opportunities.
expanding your horizons.
Connecting with the world in a more meaningful way.
I love that.
Me too. So before we move on to the last part of our deep dive,
Right?
let's pause for a minute and think about something really important that our sources brought up.
All right, I'm ready.
The IELTS is not a measure of your intelligence.
I think a lot of people forget that.
They do. They get caught up in the pressure of getting a certain score
Yeah.
and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Right.
The IELTS is just a tool to assess your English skills.
That's not like an IQ test.
Exactly. So
Okay.
don't let a score define you.
It's about recognizing the progress you've made,
Yes.
learning from your mistakes.
And knowing that learning English is a journey.
It's ongoing.
Exactly. So how about we tackle that final part of our IELTS adventure?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
All right, so we've made it through the listening and the reading sections.
Those are tough.
We've scaled those mountains.
Yes, we have.
And now we're at the final boss of the IELTS.
The speaking section.
Dun 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 dun.
I know, right?
But just like in any epic quest,
Of course.
this final challenge requires a mix of skill and strategy and like a whole lot of courage.
But don't worry.
Yeah.
We've got you covered. We have all the insights.
All right.
To help you conquer this challenge with confidence.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little bit of flair.
I love that our sources all agree.
Yeah.
Practice is key here.
Practice, practice, practice.
It's not about memorizing grammar rules or cramming vocab.
Right.
It's about really getting comfortable with the language.
Yes.
Building that fluency and confidence through actually using English.
It's like training for a marathon, you know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't just read about running techniques, you'd lace up your shoes and hit the pavement.
Yeah.
Same thing with speaking. The more you actually use the language,
Mm-hmm.
the more comfortable and natural it'll become.
So it's about making everyday life like an English-speaking training ground.
Exact.
Chatting with friends, watching movies.
Even just thinking to yourself in English?
It all adds up,
It does. And don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
right?
Join a conversation group or volunteer at an event where you have to speak English.
Or even start a blog
Yeah.
in English.
The more you push yourself,
Yeah.
the better you'll get.
And we can't forget about those language exchange apps.
Oh yeah, those are great.
It's like having a pocket-sized portal to connect with English speakers from all over the world.
Exactly. You can break down those language barriers,
Mm-hmm.
get exposed to different accents,
Yeah,
different cultures,
right.
and get feedback on your pronunciation.
And your fluency.
Exactly. Now let's talk about those pre-exam jitters.
Oh, I know all about those.
It's totally normal to be nervous.
For sure.
But just remember, the examiner is not there to judge you.
Right.
They're not trying to make you uncomfortable.
Okay, good.
They're simply there to assess your English skills.
In a nice environment,
In a supportive and structured way, think of it like a friendly chat.
not like a police interrogation.
Exactly.
Mhm.
The examiners are trained to help you relax, and they genuinely want you to do well.
That's good to hear.
So just take a deep breath, relax, and let your personality come through.
Easier said than done, but yeah, I get it.
I know, but trust me, it helps. Our sources really emphasize staying calm and focused during the speaking test.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If your mind goes blank, which it might,
Oh, it definitely happens.
or if you trip over a word, which everyone does, don't panic.
Right, don't panic.
It's important to stay composed and keep a positive attitude.
Okay.
If you need a moment to gather your thoughts,
Yeah.
just say something like, "Let me think for a moment."
Correct.
Or, "That's a great question. Let me consider that."
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what if you don't understand the question?
It's totally fine to ask the examiner to repeat it
Yeah.
or to rephrase it.
Okay, good.
It shows that you're engaged and that you want to understand what they're asking.
Right. All right, so I think it'd be good to go over those key takeaways one more time,
Good idea.
just to make sure they really sink in. Starting with the listening section,
Okay.
we talked about shadowing.
That awesome active listening technique.
It's like being a detective for spoken English,
I love that.
mimicking the intonation and pronunciation.
To train your ears.
Exactly. And remembering to underline the keywords in the questions before the audio starts.
Yes. That way you're primed and ready to pick out the important information.
And for the reading section,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about skim and scan.
Like navigating a jungle of text.
Right. Using those keywords to lead you to the answers.
Exactly.
And how crucial it is to have a strong vocabulary.
So important.
By reading a variety of things and discovering new words in context.
Exactly.
Then there's the writing section,
Ah, yes, the essays.
where we learn to turn data into stories for task 1
Yes. Weaving those facts and figures together.
with clarity and precision.
Absolutely.
And for task 2, we practiced building strong arguments
Yes, supporting them with evidence.
and using those linking words to create a smooth flow.
It's like building a beautiful bridge of ideas.
And last but not least, the speaking section,
The final challenge.
where we learn that practicing consistently is so important,
It really is.
making English a part of our everyday lives,
From casual conversations to online language exchanges.
and remembering to stay calm and focused during the exam.
Seeing the examiner as a guide, not a judge.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But I think it's important to remember that getting a good score on the IELTS isn't just about ticking boxes
Right.
or memorizing things.
It's about so much more than that.
It's about embracing this whole journey of language learning,
It's about opening doors,
Yeah.
expanding your horizons
connecting with the world.
in a deeper, more meaningful way.
I love that. So before we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a question to think about.
Ooh, I like this part.
It's about taking all this knowledge we've talked about
Mm-hmm.
and connecting it to the bigger picture.
I'm ready.
Think about all the skills you've been working on for the IELTS,
Okay.
beyond just getting that score. How will they help you in your studies, your work, even your personal life?
I love that question.
Will being a better listener help you connect with people on a deeper level
Will it help you understand complex ideas?
or navigate different cultures?
What about those reading skills?
Will they help you learn new things more effectively?
Analyze information critically.
Help you figure out what's true and what's not?
Exactly. And what about writing and speaking?
Will they help you express your thoughts clearly and confidently.
Will they help you share your ideas with the world?
Maybe even inspire others.
The IELTS might be the starting point.
Yeah,
But this journey of language learning,
it's lifelong.
it is. And the benefits go way beyond just the exam itself.
It's about embracing the power of communication
Connecting with the world in new ways.
and unlocking all sorts of possibilities. As you start this amazing journey,
Yeah.
just remember that we're cheering you on every step of the way.
We believe in you.
Go out there and conquer the IELTS.
With confidence and enthusiasm.
And who knows?
What?
Maybe someday you'll be sharing your own IELTS success story,
I love it.
inspiring others to start their own language learning adventures.
That's a great thought. All right, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, we've covered a lot today.
We talked about the structure of the exam.
The challenges of each section.
We went over some study techniques.
And talked about how important it is to have a positive mindset.
That's right. But remember,
Yeah,
this journey doesn't end here.
right.
The skills you gain while prepping for the IELTS
Mm-hmm.
will help you in so many areas of your life.
Your studies, your career, your relationship.
Exactly. So to our listener out there,
Yeah.
we're so proud of you for taking this step.
Embrace the challenges
Celebrate the wins.
and never stop believing in yourself.
We believe in you. Go get them.
You know, it's really cool to think about how those skills you build for the IELTS, they can have a much bigger impact.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not just about the exam itself, right? It's about like unlocking all these other things.
Exactly. It's like you're not just learning the language, you're opening up
Exactly.
all these new possibilities.
Absolutely. Like, think about it. Better listening skills can totally change the way you connect with people,
Oh, totally.
how you understand different points of view,
Right.
even how you handle tough situations at work or in your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you suddenly have this superpower to really hear and understand
Yeah.
what people are saying. Like, not just the words, but
Yeah, the whole
the whole thing.
right. And imagine what you can do with really good reading comprehension.
Oh my gosh, right?
You'll be able to process information so much faster.
Totally.
Think critically about what you're reading
Yeah.
and make smart decisions based on actual evidence.
Not just your gut feeling.
Right, exactly.
Hmm.
In a world where we're bombarded with
Out
information,
of time.
that's a pretty valuable skill.
Right, for sure. It's like having this mental filter that helps you
Yeah.
separate the good stuff from all the noise.
Right. And then there's writing,
Yeah.
being able to get your thoughts and ideas out there
Mm-hmm.
in a way that's clear and persuasive,
Such a crucial skill.
whether it's writing emails or blog posts.
Even just having better conversations.
Yeah.
Good writing skills can make such a difference.
It's like having this magic wand that lets you take your thoughts
Mhm.
and turn them into
Yeah.
real words
Words.
that can inform, inspire, maybe even persuade other people.
I love that. And of course, we can't forget about speaking, that ultimate test of real-time communication.
Right, being able to express yourself confidently in English.
It can open up so many doors, both personally and professionally.
For sure. Think about all the situations where strong speaking skills can really help you out.
Like giving presentations at work.
Yeah.
Networking, meeting new clients.
Right, or even
just having a conversation with someone from a completely different culture.
right, breaking down those communication barriers, making real connections.
It's amazing. It's amazing to think about all the potential that's packed into this IELTS journey.
I know it's not just about that score. It's about all these skills you're developing
Right.
that can enrich your life in so many ways.
It's like going on a quest, not just to reach a destination, but to become a better version of yourself along the way.
I like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
we really have.
And I hope our listener is feeling inspired to tackle this IELTS challenge.
You too.
We've gone through each section,
Just step by step.
talked about strategies and tips.
The whole shebang.
And most importantly, we've shown that this is about so much more than just a test score.
Right. It's about the power of language.
Opening up new horizons.
And all the amazing possibilities that come with it.
Exactly. And remember,
Yes.
even when those grammar rules seem impossible,
I know, right?
or those practice tests get you down, keep your eyes on the prize,
It's all worth it in the end.
all those amazing things that await you on the other side of the IELTS.
Absolutely. So to our listener out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the IELTS.
We hope you feel empowered to take on this challenge.
We believe in you. Embrace those challenges, celebrate the wins, and never stop believing in yourself.
And as you begin this exciting journey, we want you to know
Yeah.
we're cheering you on every step of the way.
Good luck. We know you're going to do great.
And may your IELTS experience be full of growth
Discovery.
and a newfound appreciation for the amazing English language.
Beautifully said. Well, that's a wrap for our deep dive.
Yeah, but this is just the beginning of your language learning adventure.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep shining.